Hey guys, welcome back. So today I actually updated 1.6. It finally came out and I think it helped me solve a lot of my problems because for the last few days, scrambling every single time because the harvester kept on disconnecting. I had to keep on restarting my farmer, and every time I looked at my plot count as I was farming on the GUI, it was like missing half of my plots. So I'm sitting on 2,731 plots, which isn't a hell of a whole lot, but to lose half of that every single time as I'm checking the pool, and I'm also on GG pool, I'm like, where the hell is all my plots? So what happened was the latency on the harvester when it was connecting back to the 1.51 was like ridiculously high. Currently my millisecond is like between the teens, but just yesterday prior to 1.60, it was hitting up in the hundreds, 200s, 300. I'm like, where the hell is this coming from? And then as soon as I shut down the GUI, the latency goes back down. Like, okay, so there's obviously a communication problem and the high latency coming from the farmer to the harvester, and that's what's causing my disconnect, right? So I dealt with it, I restarted it, I even downgraded it to 1.50, and that didn't seem to help because it seemed like there was like residual stuff from like 1.51. So I'm glad 1.6 came out and it helped me resolve that issue. I haven't run into that issue ever since upgrading the GUI. So that's where we are with that. This I watched, and I'm just going to play it for a little bit. I'm actually 1 minute and 28 seconds in.
Also led to a partnership with Bill McDonough and Seagate and Western Digital, because it turns out that hyperscale data centers like Microsoft and others have been shredding drives at year 4. So a tremendous amount of storage has been going to landfills. And in partnership with folks like Microsoft and others, we think we're actually going to be able to not just green the blockchain space, but maybe green up the entire data center business. So we're really excited about having that really massively positive impact on.
All right, so this was a kind of a green initiative that was posted on Twitter. I watched it for a few minutes. The sad part was it was like a whole hour long on this live stream. Gene and this whole green initiative thing was like the last segment of this like hour ridiculously long, really like monotone event. Wasn't very exciting, and the only reason why I even watched it was because, you know, I saw it on my Twitter. Not that even Gene speaking about Chia was anything exciting in my opinion. But anyway, let's go over to the price. $33.52. Guys, the price is ridiculously low. It's only gonna go lower. We have the whole Fed hike stuff. We just have issues going on all over the place, not just with crypto, you know, just the economy in general. So that obviously is gonna affect crypto in many ways. The electricity rates are going up. We have interesting here is the node count has been pretty static. It hasn't been growing. Chia is, you know, in my really strong opinion, is that it may not get to a really high level of return if you're investing your time and money into this. I know a lot of people on Reddit and all these other different platforms are saying, you know, just get into it because you find the project interesting, or you have faith in the project, or treat it as a hobby and nothing else. Well, I mean, if you do that, then obviously, you know, you can't go wrong there. You spend what you can. It's like going out to drink on the weekend, right? You don't, there's no return on that, right? There's no, I mean, you get some satisfaction, but you're not going to make any money off of that. The only thing you do is constantly spend, right? So that's the downside of it. I don't know if Chia can be one of those coins where you're going to be really profitable. You know, a lot of speculation, a lot of guys hopeful saying that Chia could go back up to 1,000. Maybe. But me personally, I really don't see that happening. I think between 20s and where it is now is going to be a projection of mine that is going to be sitting at this price range for quite some time, if not lower. All right, I'm not bagging Chia, it's just my honest opinion. I'm just saying I don't see the relevance of it going higher. All right, you guys can say whatever you want, and I'm sure you guys tune in because I talk a lot about Chia. I am following it. I, you know, keep up to date with it. I'm constantly looking at my setup, and, you know, just yesterday I finally looked at the YAML.config file again, and I saw and actually my log file, I just saw all these disconnect errors between the farmer and the harvester. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, did something change? But it wasn't, nothing changed. Nothing changed on my end besides me upgrading to 1.51, and that's where all the issues started. Again, so version 1.6 is out right now, and I saw, there was a lot of interesting new developments on this version, the data layer. I read somewhere, I was trying to look for it again, but I read somewhere that what basically the data layer is supposed to be doing is with all the nodes around the world to validate all this, information. One thing that they pointed out was, you can load the whole entire Shakespeare or whatever.
People think of William Shakespeare as an artist, a playwright,
onto this blockchain, but that wouldn't be very efficient. So what you would do is put references to these locations of where you store all this data. One thing I was trying to figure out, like, how would this benefit me? Now, it may be beneficial to the certain industries, but I was trying to think of a one-on-one use case for myself, right? Like, all right, I have a blockchain, or I can utilize a blockchain such as Chia, but what am I distributing that I can, validate that it's always going to not change its data or its structure, right? I'm not creating any NFTs. Now, I understand that, the whole NFT blockchain, each one is unique, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, how would it benefit me? Guys, comment below. Let me know, how would it benefit you as an individual? I don't care what this whole carbon World Bank stuff, like, how would it benefit you as an individual with this whole blockchain? Like, you're writing a love letter and you're writing it to your significant other, but it's on the blockchain, so no one can manipulate that. Is that a use case? I don't know. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. That 1.60 saved me. It saved me from a bunch of headaches because it finally fixed my issue with the syncing of the harvester with the farmer. And that was it. And I haven't had any downtime since, because yesterday was really bad for some reason. Almost seemed like right before the launch of the 1.6 and forcing people to do 1.6. Is there like a conspiracy thing? Because prior to the launch of 1.6, the few other days, the 1.1 was giving me problems, but not that much problems to the point where it kept on disconnecting, like up and down, just kept on losing the connection. So I think someone's messing around with it, in my honest opinion. All right, I want to thank you guys for being here. Please remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.